How you doing? Auto Draft Show here, doing a little playoff picture for you guys. A little Saturday-Sunday matchup. First ever in our Auto Draft history. But I think we're taking away from the highlight of past weekend. Parlay Professor going 4-1. Joe, how do you feel?
I'm feeling good. I'm reading the board really well. We had some great picks last weekend, and I'm really excited for this weekend because I think there's some really nice value out there.
Absolutely. What was your takeaway from last weekend? Had you any surprises for you, or were you pretty? You kind of figured all the lineups that happened would happen?
Yeah, nothing, no big surprises. I just think you got to be able to win ugly football in the playoffs because there was some ugly football, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad football. It was just ugly, and you got to find a way to win ugly. And I think the Browns kind of did that. The Ravens kind of did that. Like the Titans, that was a real ugly game on Sunday, and the Ravens were just better at winning an ugly football game than the Titans.
Yeah, the Ravens, they're dirty dogs. They fight in the mud. But they're scrappy. I mean, that team was on the brink of not even making the playoffs, and now they're going for a run. And I could even see them kind of winning this weekend too. So I'm excited. What did you think about that Cleveland game? I'm really pumped about their fans. That great.
Yeah, I'm happy for them because they're like a big ride or die fan base. They breathe it every single day, so I'm happy for them. The Steelers were in the dog pound and they were not ready.
Oh, Big Ben is throwing medicine balls out there. His arm does not look good at all. I think it's that Tommy John. And I have a little theory too. I really think if you start looking at pitchers in the MLB and start comparing them to quarterbacks in the NFL, they start to lose speed and they start to lose zip. And when you lose that speed, cornerbacks are just too fast. They just pick balls off. It's not that they don't have the arm strength. I think they just don't have the velocity still in that football that's not getting out there in time. Because again, if you have time to catch it, they're going to pick it off. I mean, cornerbacks in the NFL are just so fast nowadays. And you see a guy like Ben Roethlisberger, he just throws these fucking catapult lobs and guys are just getting killed. The buddy passes that he throws are disgusting. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree.
I really think the strategy is I would start to, in practice, limit the amount of times the quarterback throws. I think you got to find a happy medium because I think it's just like a pitcher in baseball. This isn't a natural throwing. Overhand's not natural for the body. So I think I'm curious how their practices are run, just in the sense of how many balls they're throwing in practice because you need quarterbacks to throw balls to receivers. So I would be using the backups and practice guys throughout the week, and then I would just save their shoulders because I mean these guys are so good in the beginning and then they start to tone off, and I really think it's because of this velocity. I think if you don't have velocity on the ball, they're knuckleball. Tim Wakefield's just smoking them out of the park. But what about Buffalo Bills? Are you on the hype train?
I don't know yet. I don't know. I'm torn about them. I think they're good. I don't know. I know they're for real, but I still don't know if they have it. If they just have it. Maybe it's just because I still think that they're the old Buffalo, but I don't know. It's Josh Allen is questionably the MVP for sure. But I still don't know if I trust that entire team.
A shaky team against the Colts. I mean, Phil Medicine Ball Rivers did his thing out there. They should have won that game. I really thought they had it in the bag. They gave him everything. I think this is Phil's last year. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, he's got to be done after that.
Yeah, I think he hits the broadcast booth. He's got 15 kids by now, so he's already got his own football team in his backyard. So it's not like he's going to be missing the game. But I'm surprised they didn't put Jacoby Brissett in. They really thought Phil would give him a better chance of winning.
Yeah, I think you got to trust a veteran in that situation and just hope he can do it for you. He almost did. But it did not enough juice.
The 5-yard slant routes almost paid off for the guy. Hey, how about the check down king? Do we call it all year or do we call it all year?
We did.
Taylor.
He had a huge day.
Oh, lights out performance. You can't bet against the Auto Draft Show, folks. You know what we do for a living. Masturbate and football. So what's up? But, so I got a good little stat here. End of the year, started doing a little statistics. Best game of the year. Who do you think had that performance? wise.
It was last game, you're saying?
No, best. Whoever had the best performance of the year.
Oh.
Was it
Dalvin Cook?
Nope. I'll give you one more guess.
Tyreek Hill?
Yep. Tyreek Hill, week 12, 13 receptions, 259 yards, 3 TDs for a total of 57.9 points in a PPR league. Now, my favorite stat. Can you tell me who had the single worst performance in a game? This one you'll probably never guess because I was.
Is it someone that you would start like every week?
No, it's like a no name, but the position is the wildest part. Can you guess what position they play?
Quarterback.
Nope. It's a special teams.
Special teams. The Jets.
The kicker for the San Diego Chargers. Ty Long. Get this, okay? I was so shook that I still couldn't believe that this is a stat. 0 field goals, 0 field goals attempt, 0 extra points made, minus 28 yards rushing for a total of minus 2.8 PPR. Like, how? How does that happen?
I don't. It must have been a bad snap.
Yeah, but he played. It was against the Jets too. That's the greatest part.
That's crazy.
Jets, and it was his only It was like the only game he has stats on. So like, how do you go an entire game without kicking any field? They must have just blown out the Jets, I think.
Yeah, or maybe he was like the place kicker that game.
Yeah, like the reserve guy for
yeah.
garbage time. Like minus 28 yards rushing. I can't imagine what that play looked like because that means it had to be like a fire sale, like a fumble or something where like he just scrambled backwards for 28 yards.
Yeah.
Give up the block.
He's going to take the safety. Yep, into the end zone. That is a good play.
Yep, that's one of the things that we didn't talk about. And it's a good decision there. You take the safety.
Panic mode. Like, holy shit. But yeah, I thought those two were great stats for the end of the year. That's my favorite looking at awards. Obviously, Josh Allen, leader of everyone for fantasy. Congratulations. But, Joe, what do you think about for the weekend going ahead? Anything you got your eyes on?
Let's see. I like this week. I like all the games this week. Last week, I did not like that Seahawks-Rams game. I stayed away. Only game I didn't bet on. Yeah. I will be betting on all the games this week, but I'll save those. I'm going to save my tips for the end.
All right. Yeah. Any games you're interested in watching?
Yes, the Sunday games. Every single game I'm actually interested in, except for Rams-Packers, because I just hate them. For something about the Rams that I just hate.
Just not fun to watch.
I think they stink. I'm not a big Jared Goff fan. I think he's a bit of a clown.
Dust. He's so bad. I think Wolf takes his spot and they just axe that contract.
And I think the Packers do really well against them. So I don't think it's going to be much to watch, honestly. Yeah. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's much to watch in that game. I think should be Packers by 1 million, but we'll see. That's why we play the game.
That's why Rams defense is kind of sneaky good. Very sneaky good.
It is. They are sneaky good for sure. But Aaron Rodgers is also like playing all time right now.
Yeah, that team is heating up at the right time. I mean, all their players are going off, so it's you couldn't have picked a better time. And they kind of snuck into that number 1 spot. I was kind of surprised when they got the bye. I'm like, where has the talk been about the Packers all year? It's always been about Matt LaFleur and drafting a quarterback in the first round. So like, it kind of just went under the radar.
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I just find like the Packers Sunday night games are never really fun to watch. It's kind of a shit show. It's not like very good offense. But I do like the other games this week. I think they're razor thin margins. It's just like so hard to predict who do you think will win, because I mean that's what happens when you get towards the end. I mean, only you really see it now that like when you get into the playoffs, the cream really rises to the top. And even when we're doing Draftkings, I was struggling with picking teams because these defenses are so good that are in the end, it's like, fuck, someone's got to catch the ball at least at some point. Like, shit. But I got some good starter sits for this week. They're going to be tough ones for you, so I'm going to put your knowledge to the test.
All right, let's do it.
Start out with the first one, start or sit, Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen.
Can't go wrong with either, but I'm going with Josh Allen. Just because he had the most fantasy points this year, I don't see why he's not going to have a good game against Baltimore, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah. For this one, I'm going to pick Lamar Jackson. I just love that dual threat, and I think they're heating up at the right time. I think they're scrappy, and I love it. I love how scrappy they are, and that Indianapolis game really scared me enough to think about Baltimore having a chance, because Baltimore had to really fight to get in the playoffs. So I love a team that's got that heart. They just knocked off the Titans, which were kind of cooling down as they were getting into playoffs, which you do not want to go into, and it showed. Naturally, you got smoked. But yeah, I think Lamar Jackson does it this week. I think they can kind of knock off the Bills. All right, starter sit, running back, Aaron Jones, Cam Akers. This one's a tough one.
I'm just going to go Aaron Jones because I think the Packers will have a good lead. They'll be looking to the run a lot. I think he's had a really good season. I'm going Jones.
Yeah, I think the Rams' game plan: run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Green Bay's run defense, 23rd in the league. That's an Achilles heel. So I like Cam Akers. He's been hot these last couple of weeks. So I'm going to pick Cam Akers. I think he has a big day. All right. Wide receiver, Michael Thomas versus Mike Evans. The battle of the Mikes. Starter sit. Who do you got?
I'm going to go Evans. It's Tom Brady in the playoffs. I'm not going to count him out having a bad game. So I'm taking Evans. I think he's going to be slinging the ball all over the field on what the game is on. Sunday night. He's going to be slinging the ball on Sunday night.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think Drew Brees is that arm's not looking so hot these days. But this week, I put out my must starts for the week, Mike Thomas. So got to ride with my guy. My theory is that defense for Tampa Bay looks a little shaky. Mike Thomas looked amazing coming back. I think Drew Brees finds him on about 15 slants this weekend because he's not throwing the ball downfield. So I think Mike Thomas has a day. And a little future heads up, he could also be in my Draftkings lineup this week too. So a little foreshadow for that. All right, wide receiver number 2. This one's a good one. Devonta Adams versus Robert Woods. Who do you got?
It is a good one, but I'm rolling with Adams. He was my guy all year on my fantasy football team. I love putting him in on DraftKings. I'm rolling Adams all day, every day.
Yep, me too, baby. I think you got to know Jalen Ramsey's going to be covering all game, but I think if you do a lot of like group packaging where he can't jam them up, and it just makes it so hard to play man to man when you kind of stack guys or go in like trips formation. So I think they find a way to get him open, and you can't bet against Aaron Rodgers. The guy can drop footballs on a dime out there. He looks like Vince Vaughn in Wedding Crashers. All state, okay? I can make it rain out here if I want. Put the ball where I want. That's Aaron Rodgers, okay? So I think he finds Devonta Adams, and I think you're right, Joe. I think they could get off to a quick lead. That could really help them. All right, start or sit. This one's a tough one. This one could go either way. Rob Gronkowski versus Jared Cook. Now, I know, before you say anything, I know a lot of people always think, oh, Rob Gronkowski. Rob's not the same Rob before. I mean, he got shut out last week. So think about that.
Oh, this is a tough one. And to be honest, I would not want either of them on my DraftKings lineup.
Terrible pick.
I'm probably just going to lean Cook just because I think Brady has a lot of weapons. He got shut out last week. So I'm going to just lean Cook here just by a small margin. But you never know because Gronk is Tom's guy. And, when it might be crunch time and Tom's going to look to his guy Gronk.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that they're going to be crunch time in this game because I'm kind of riding the Saints. But I like Cook by a slight edge because I think they might shut down Gronk again.
Yeah, I just think Tom, whenever the shit hits the fan, he just looks to Gronk for every play because they just know all their old New England plays. And he just says, fuck everyone else. You guys kind of just run around. But I just don't like how Bruce Arians utilizes these amazing tight ends. He doesn't use them ever. Like you have like 2 Pro Bowl tight ends and they don't do anything. And you have 3 Pro Bowl receivers, dude? Figure it out, okay? I could have a better play drawn up in my head. I think Jared Cook. I just think with old Noodle Arm there, he's got to throw the checkdowns, and Cook, he's going to get a greasy catch. And Tampa Bay struggles covering tight ends, so I think he could find him in the end zone for like a quick little slant or just like a little curl route, just some greasy points. I think he gets the edge. They just don't use Gronk, so I have no faith in it. And now, time for everyone's favorite segment, our Draftkings Lineups. Joe, you had an unreal weekend, not only in gambling, but in DraftKings. You kicked the shit out of me on Sunday. You had 143 points to my 115. Congratulations. You were lights out.
Thank you.
Very good. I thought I had you on the ropes there. I thought at least I could get you in DraftKings, if anything. I know you got me in betting by a mile, but I thought that DraftKings was my baby. I was on a heater there for the last 2 weekends. But yeah, the guys who really hurt me, Derrick Henry, Emmanuel Sanders, those guys went ice cold. But the guys who I did call out last week who would have huge performances did perform. Not a big deal. And then Big Ben, he really came back to hurt me too, because I was I was making $10 off a $1 bet. Not a big deal, basically rich. And then Big Ben went off towards that garbage time bullshit. Boy.
Yeah, so I was lucky about that because I had Big Ben. I was not expecting that many points, but he got me a fair chunk of trying to claw back into that game.
I mean, I looked like I felt like the guy from Goodwill Hunting for a second there, because I was just couldn't miss on a pick in DraftKings. I mean, that first half I was lights out in the group text telling everyone how good I was, and then should have just bit my tongue. But all right, DraftKings. Let me pull up my lineup here. We're gonna start with the Saturday.
2 games.
Yep. This one's a tough one. I thought Sunday was a little bit easier. And Saturday, it's just tough calls. I think Saturday is a weekend where a lot of no-name receivers make headlines for, and that's the playoffs. You just, anyone can be a hero. I mean, look at like Malcolm Butler. Look at like all the last Super Bowl MVPs. Just random guys who just stepped up. So that's kind of what I went into with Saturday, with it being such tight margins and defenses being so good. So first off, at quarterback, Lamar Jackson versus Buffalo, $76,000. A little expensive, but the dual threat's deadly. I think he gets at least 1 rushing touchdown. I'm thinking 2 this weekend, which would really boost me up. Josh Allen scares me, and I think that Ravens defense is gonna cause some problems. At running back, do you want to go every other?
No, you go through your lineup and I'll run through mine.
All right. At running back, I got Cam Akers. Green Bay defense is ranked 24th in the league. They struggle. Cam Akers is hot right now, so you got to go with the hot hand. I think their strategy is you got to keep Aaron Rodgers off the field. Got to preserve that defense, so just run the ball. They're terrible at stopping the run, so why would you change up the game plan? Running back number 2, I got J.K. Dobbins, Baltimore Ravens. I think with Buffalo, you got to keep Buffalo's offense off the field. And I think with the Ravens, they just run this like Navy offense hybrid style triple option, which works. It causes a lot of problems. And I think this is a weekend where Baltimore has Buffalo's number. Sorry, Bills Mafia. Love you guys. Love everything about it. But looking pretty shaky, and you don't want to look like that going into the playoffs. So I think this is a game Baltimore crushes them. J.K. Dobbins has a nice little game against a defense that's been struggling. All right. Wide receiver number 1. I'm going to go with Marquis Brown. He's pretty cheap right now, $5,300. Had a nice little performance last weekend. I'm just going to ride the hot hand. I think this Ravens team is scrappy, like I said before. I think Lamar has a nice little game out of it. Now, wide receiver number 2, I got Marquise Valdes-Scantling. I just think this is a game where the backups, the second wide receiver number 2s and wide receiver number 3s have huge games, because I just really see I think Jalen Ramsey, he's really good. He's a great shutdown corner. I think he's going to be on Devonta Adams all week, or all night, I should say. So I think this is a game where Aaron just starts finding random guys and just crushes it. Plus, he had a nice little game last time he played, 17 points, not a big deal. So, and then wide receiver number 3, I got Robert Woods. I just think this is a game where for the price, he's not too bad, but he had a nice little game last week. And I just feel like with Green Bay's defense, I just don't have a lot of confidence in it. That's the only thing that scares me. And I think this is a game that Robert Woods could have a nice little day. And then for tight end, I got Robert Tonyan. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, I figured if Devonta Adams is going to be covered, Tonyan's going to be wide open. So that was a little no-brainer. I like him a lot. I think Aaron finds him. And then in my flex, I got Stephon Diggs. The guy, you can't stop him. I mean, even on defenses that I thought he would be like maybe 10, 12 points, he still gets like 22. So I don't know what it is, what's in his Wheaties in the morning, but you got to go with the hot hand, especially in playoffs. If it doesn't make sense, that's what playoffs is all about. Okay, nothing makes sense. So just ride with what's working at the time. Throw the playbook away. Got to go with the hot hand, Stephon Diggs. And then defenses. You couldn't win this weekend. There's all terrible matchups. So I went with the Ravens because I just think this could be a game where they at least get one pick or a fumble. That's all it takes to get you 6 points. So that's my Saturday lineup. Tough one. Had to navigate through some serious waters. But hopefully we win some buckage out of that. Joe, what's your Saturday lineup?
We got some similar players for sure. But here's mine. Quarterback, I'm going Rodgers. I love him. I think he's the MVP. I'm rolling Rodgers as the third most expensive quarterback. I think it's a no-brainer. I'm going Akers at running back. I know I said I'd take Jones over Akers in our fantasy matchup, but this comes down to price. Akers is cheaper. I'm rolling Akers.
Yeah, you got to go for price.
Next running back, J.K. Dobbins. I think Baltimore needs to keep Buffalo off the field. They're going to be looking to Dobbins a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Wide receiver, going with my man, Adams. Okay. Rodgers going to be looking at him all day long.
Yeah, I
okay.
think you're right.
Next wide receiver, I'm going with Cole Beasley. He's sneaky but good. I think, maybe he has a chance to get a touchdown or something for us as a guy in the weeds. And I'm also going with Marquis Brown, another guy. He's not really in the weeds, but I think he hopefully has potential to maybe get a couple of big plays for us.
He can
get us some
break
points.
some off for some huge yardage, which is great.
Exactly. Okay, tight ends. I went very cheap because I got some other expensive guys. So I went with Tyler Kroft, one of the Buffalo tight ends. I'm hoping maybe we're on the 2 or 3 yard line and we throw a little
greasy,
little out route to him.
Yep.
Flex, same flex as you, Stephon Diggs. He's a walking fantasy bucket. And then defense, I had the same thought process. I went with the Ravens. I think that the offense of the Ravens is going to try to keep Buffalo off the field, which hopefully could help the Ravens defense and cause some problems.
It's just all you need is just one fumble, and that's 6 points no matter what. You can get blown out by 45, you get one fumble, that's 6 points. It's crazy.
Yep.
All right. Sunday lineup. Let me pull it up right now. This one I thought was a little bit easier. I really think there's some great separation in the teams. A little more confidence. QB, got to go with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, the guy doesn't really dip below 20 points. So, again, walking fantasy bucket, as Joe said. Love that line. Might take that. At running back, I went with Nick Chubb. I think if you're the Browns, the formula for success is to keep Kansas City off the field. So what are you going to do? You're going to run it against a team that's 23rd in the league on stopping the run. So the playbook's out. Just run the ball. And I still think Kansas City looks pretty shaky. I think some team could knock them out. I think it could possibly be the Browns. That's my prediction for this week. Running back number 2, Kareem Hunt. I just think might as well take both of them. I just think the Browns are just going to pound the ball down their throats. Kansas City's not going to be able to stop it. And I really think this is a game that the Browns could actually win, surprisingly. Wide receiver, I went with Antonio Brown. That's Tom's guy. Anything goes wrong, he just looks for either Gronk or Antonio Brown. All right, those guys just sit in his backyard all day, throwing the football around and drawing plays up, talking about how much they hate Bruce Arians. So I think this is a game where Mike Evans and Goodwin have their problems. Tom just looks for Antonio Brown, gets a touchdown. He's Mr. Reliable. You can't count the guy out. Wide receiver number 2, I went with Mecole Hardman. I just think this is a game where you gotta shut down the studs. So this is the style of game where the backups just prevail. So I think Mecole Hardman. I think with Patty Mahomes, he can throw to anyone. He just basically throws it so hard it just gets stuck to you. So I think he finds Mecole Hardman this weekend. And then I splurged on my must start for the week, Mike Thomas. 66 hundo going up against that Tampa Bay. New Orleans, they got Tampa Bay's number. I think Drew Brees finds this guy in like 1,000 slant routes this weekend. And I think he has a huge game. And then my other must start for the week, Travis Kelce, tight end. He's expensive, 77 hundo, but you're going up against the 30th ranked defense against tight ends. So that's a no-brainer. I think they shut down Tyreek Hill. The cheetah's dangerous. I think you gotta cover all those receivers. It's just no one's gonna be covering Kelce. So I think this is a big day for Kelce. And then my flex spot, not a whole lot of money left because I splurged on some big names. I went with Emmanuel Sanders. I like the guy. I mean, he's pretty shaky. I was actually thinking maybe Austin Hooper. I could be changing this closer to game time. But defense, I went with the Saints. I could see this maybe being a three-peat of the last 2 performances of the smackdown they put on Tampa Bay. I mean, Tampa Bay almost lost the Redskins, so that can't give you a whole lot of confidence moving forward. All right, Joe, what do you got?
That's true. All right, Sunday, quarterback. I went with Drew Brees. I know the Tampa defense is good. For some reason, I'm not a believer in Tampa, not a believer in Bruce Arians. I think the Saints might just tie them up into a pretzel on Sunday. I got at running back Leonard Fournette. Okay, I think they're going to need some veteran experience over there in Tampa.
Yeah.
And I think Fournette's going to be a good one.
Ronald Jones didn't even play last weekend, too. That's
Yeah. My other running back is Alvin Kamara. Okay, I think he is going to be a big reason why the Saints move on.
The check down king.
Yep. I went with Antonio Brown as a wide receiver. Again, Tom's guy. He's going to the guys he trusts. Not that he doesn't trust everyone else, but I know he trusts Brown. So I think he'll be looking at Brown a little bit on Sunday.
It's funny.
Have
you noticed he's only been like throwing it to the veterans, like
yeah.
time guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Other wide receiver, I'm going with Tyreek Hill. Okay. He had the most fantasy points in a single game this year. I think he has the chance to go off, especially against the Browns. But I still don't know if Kansas City dominates that game, but I think Tyreek Hill can still have a day for himself. And then I'm going with Jarvis Landry on the other side of the field with Cleveland. I think they're going to need to score some points if the Browns are going to win this game. Well, obviously they need to score points, but you know what I'm saying, a lot of points.
Yeah, I almost.
So I think I'm thinking he's going to find Landry. Tight end again. I went cheap on the tight end. I went with Hooper. Okay, for Cleveland again. I think as well as the Browns run the ball, I think they're going to need to have Baker slinging it a little bit back there. Flex spot, I went with Kelce. Okay, I just think he's old reliable.
Yep.
And defense, I went with the Browns because I think their defense can still play really well and get fantasy points. Even if Hill and Kelce get some points, I still think Browns defense can still be all right.
Funny. I had the same thought process because I'm like, they're actually pretty. That defense, people forget, they're actually pretty good, and they got Denzel Ward back, which is even better. We've all been waiting for everyone's favorite, the Parlay Professor picks. Joe, what do you got for us this week?
All right, here we go. I'm going Green Bay Packers -6.5. I'm also going under 45.5 in that game. I'm going Ravens +2.5. Going Ravens +2.5. I might even sprinkle their money line. All right, on to Sunday. Okay, I've got no total in that game. On to Sunday. Okay, this is the more interesting day in my opinion. That Ravens-Bills game is going to be great, but as the overall day, I think that Sunday has the more potential. Okay, I'm going Browns +10. I don't believe in the Chiefs. The Browns have a lot of momentum right now. I feel like the Chiefs would rather be playing the Steelers because I feel like the Browns have just built this momentum after last week that they aren't going to be stopped. So I'm taking the Browns +10. Might even sprinkle that money line +385. And then Buccaneers Saints. I'm rolling Saints -3. I think that they have a real opportunity here to blow their doors off. I think that Tampa struggling against the Redskins last week is just bad news. Yeah, it's a playoff win. Yeah, they're moving on, which is great. But I think
he played like a fifth-string quarterback and almost lost.
I think that they are going to get exposed. I know Saints have already beat them twice, so the stats say Tampa's going to win. I say F the stats.
Yeah,
I'm rolling Saints, and I think that Tampa is exposed for who they really are.
Yeah.
And the total in that game is 52, and I might consider hitting the under on that as well.
Let me ask you this. Do you think the Saints gas Bruce Arians after this year if Tom stays?
Yes, I think if they lose tomorrow, he's out. Almost no doubt. I mean, that's not guaranteed. If they win, though, if they win tomorrow, then he's probably there to stay.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe. I don't know. I assume that their expectation is the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, potentially, if they at least don't get to the Super Bowl, he might just be canned. I don't know. I hate him. I don't know if he's a horrible coach, but I'm personally not a fan. I don't know how Tom Brady really feels about him.
I think he hates him. I think he wants him out.
So, yeah, I mean, I know Tom Brady's not one to get rid of coaches, but if Tom Brady has someone in mind who he wants, I think that they might do it. But you never know. Tom Brady's only got a year or two left, I think. I know that we've been saying that for the past 10.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to change. If Tampa likes Bruce Arians, I think they're going to just stick with Bruce instead of listening to Tom, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think if Tom stays, Tom gets him the boot because Tom wants the Super Bowl now. Tampa, it's great for their fan base, so they might as well succeed to whatever Tom says. And you know, I mean, that guy, who knows how fucking long he's going to play. I mean,
yeah,
and he's going to play for 2 years for like the last every year. Literally every year we've been saying that.
Seriously.
Fucked. Keep eating avocados, I guess. Shit. That is it for the Auto Draft Show. Joe, any closing remarks?
Let's take some money from the bookmaker this weekend. Okay, it's about time the bookie gets hurt. Okay, have a nice weekend, everybody.
Absolutely. Check out the autodraftshow.com. Make sure to follow, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss notifications like this and other gem videos in the future. Also, check out Burger Bar. Use promo code BigTimeBurger with an A on your next online purchase for 10% off. Exclude alcohol. And we got some big things coming up in the works for you guys, so stay tuned.